Today I'm going to show you how to use Rec Room NPCs to make your own monsters in Rec Room. Now there's two things before we get started today. So number one, this is in beta, so you have to enable beta content on your rooms. Thing number two is I want to give a big shout out to Nico Core Network. They helped me immensely in trying to get this tutorial for you guys. Be sure to check them out. On to the tutorial. So the first thing we need to do is actually make our map. In order for this to work, your hallways have to be at least 3 meters wide. If you need help knowing how to do this, you can use grid snapping on your maker pen, set it to 1, then make a cube and drag it out 1, 2, 3. Or you can spawn in 3 unit cubes. So next up, what you're gonna do is grab your entire map and clone it, and then bring it down below where your current map is. And actually, if you want, you can go further down with it. So once you have your map below the original map, you're going to want to delete all of the walls on the copy. If you don't delete the walls, then the NPC will get stuck. So next we need to define the area that the actual Rec Room pre-made monster can walk in. And we're going to do that by baking the Nav Mesh. So you're going to open your watch, you're going to go to this room, and then you're going to go up to settings. And you scroll down on the main settings page, you will see AI and Nav Mesh. So what you're going to do is hit Bake Nav Mesh. When you do that, you're going to see this big kind of white box show up. What you want to do is encase this entire lower map with this white volume that just showed up. Don't include the upper map. Once you've got it surrounding your actual map, then you're going to hit Bake Nav Mesh again. So after you bake the Nav Mesh, you'll see this kind of purple stuff that's telling you the area that the NPC can walk in. This is the Rec Room NPC, not your NPC. Even though it looks a little bit crooked on here, don't worry. It's good enough for what we need. So now let's work on actually getting our Rec Room pre-made monster. So you're going to want to open your maker pen, go into the palette, and you are going to search up the spawner gadget. You just want to spawn it in a corner somewhere. I would say the furthest corner from your players. Then you're going to configure the purple part here, and you want to set the object. Now once you set the object, you cannot change it. Let's hit set the object. Now I wanted to originally use the melee goblin here, but it has issues with tracking multiple people. So I found that the skeleton swashbuckler pirate works at least a little bit better. Then once you've selected your NPC, you're going to go ahead and hit configure again on the NPC, and you're going to scroll down and give it some tag that you'll remember. I'm going to give it the tag of monster guide. Next I'm going to configure the actual board itself, and I'm going to go into chip settings and detach from Rec Room object. We're just going to pull this up to the main map, and that's where we're going to do most of our circuits. So now we need to figure out how we want this NPC to be spawned in. Today we're going to use a trigger volume. And normally you would put this in a doorway somewhere, but just since this is an example, I'm just going to make it right here on the wall. Now we don't just want to hook up player entered straight to the spawn, because we only want one skeleton to be spawned in, and we don't want any other ones to spawn in after that one. So for this, we're going to need an if chip and a bool variable. Hook the player entered to the if chip and hook the then to the bool variable, making sure that the bottom here is false. Then we want to hook the bool variable up to the spawner. Now we're going to copy this bool variable and pull it to the other side of the if chip. Let's make a little bit more room here. We want to hook the actual bool value up to the if chip, and we're going to flip this to true. So now we need a way to make this bool variable become true whenever the room is loaded. And we can do that with an event receiver. Configure the event receiver to go off on room reset. Then connect it to that first bool variable. Again, making sure the bottom here says true. So just running through so this makes sense. Whenever the room is loaded, this bool variable will be turned to true. Then whenever the first player hits this trigger zone, it will determine if the bool variable is true, which it is, and if it is true, then it will make the bool variable false, and it will spawn in one NPC down below us. So now we need to get our actual monster, our monster that we made. And today we are going to use our good friend Barry. Once you get your monster, you want to configure it, and make sure that you have modify with circuits on, and you want to go ahead and give it some sort of tag that you'll remember different from the other one. So for this one, I'm just going to have it be monster. So just like many other tutorials, we are going to start this one out with an event receiver, and we are going to configure it to be a 30 Hertz receiver. Now in the past, I would have used a set position chip here, but because I want to avoid using rolls here, we're actually going to use a respawn chip. First, we need the target, the thing that's going to be respawned over and over and over again. For us, that's going to be Barry, and we gave him the tag earlier of monster. So we need a Rec Room object get first with tag. So if you just type in first, it should be one of these chips here. Let's see. The fourth chip over, Rec Room object get first with tag. We want to configure the tag to match the tag on Barry over there, and that tag was monster. Go ahead and hook that up to the target. Then what position do we want Barry to be teleported to? Well, we want Barry's position to match the position of the skeleton below, except we want it to be up here with us. So what we need is another one of these Rec Room object get first with tag chips, and we are going to change the tag to be the tag that we gave the skeleton down below, which was monster guide. Then we're going to need a get position chip, and we're going to hook it up to the monster guide chip. Then we're going to take that vector and we're going to add in some upward coordinates. I guess that's the best way to say it. So first we need an add chip, and then we need a vector create chip. Go ahead and hook this up. Now all that we're changing on here is the Y value, because we want it to be in the same spot that the AI is down there. We just want it to be up. And the up is going to be different depending on how far down you put your second map. I'm thinking if I do like a 7, that should work. We're going to try it out real quick and see. So hook that up there. Also hook that to rotation. We will change this later. This is only for testing purposes. Hook this up here. Let's save it. We're testing to see what the measurement of 7, where that is. Okay. You can see the res effects happening. 7 is not quite high enough. So I'm going to reset the room. To clear out all of those yellow cubes spawning in over and over again, we're going to change the use res effects to false. Let's see what 8.5 does. Okay, maybe we'll just go with 9. And I'm pretty sure 9 will be fine. So next, we need to fill out the rotation. We want the rotation to be set to be the vector difference between me, the target of the AI down there, and Barry. I know that probably doesn't make sense, but once we get chips, maybe it'll make more sense. So I would have never figured this out if it weren't for Nico. We need to get the target that AI is looking at. This is the chip that you use, okay? From Rec Room object. You're gonna spawn it in right here, and you're gonna hook it up to the object that comes from the spawner gadget. Now the value it outputs should be an AI. So from there, you need to use an AI get target chip. Hook that up there. We need to get the position of the target. So we're actually just going to clone this get position chip here. So we've gotten the position of the target of the AI down there. And actually, I'm going to move this down here just so we have a little bit more space to work with. We need another get position chip. So we just take Barry's tag chip here, hook it up to get position. Now we need a subtract chip. So we are going to subtract the position of Barry from the position of the target, and then we're going to hook that difference up to the rotation. There's another chip that we need for this spawner gadget, which is AI set line of sight parameters. And we're just going to put it right here next to the spawner gadget. So basically we're far enough away from the monster down there that it doesn't detect me once it spawns in. So we need to increase the range that it can detect. So what we're going to do is just after the object spawned, set the line of sight parameters. We don't want it to require line of sight, so we're going to change that to false. The AI that we want it to affect is the AI down there, which is this from Rec Room object. It's going to be the output here. Just hook that up there. The vision type, you could either type in cone or circle. I think circle is the one that works for us. And then I like to just make the vision range and the hearing range 100. If your pre-made monster down there is further away, you'll need this number to be bigger. All right, I'm gonna save it again. You're gonna hook up your 30 hertz receiver. Here we go. There we go. And now he follows me. And he'll chase me around wherever that Nav Mesh says it's okay to chase you around at. Alright, and from this point you can add in your jump scares or animations. I'll leave some videos here to help you out with that. Use code RCO1 in Rec Room, it'll really help me out. And another big thank you to Nico Core Network for helping me make this tutorial. Have a good day, bye! And 9%, thanks for making it this far in the video, man. Use a dog emoji in the comments so I know you made it this far. Bye!